Hi Cancer, welcome back to my channel Tarot Z. I'm Z and I'm going to be doing your tarot reading, finding out what are the messages with the cards that come out in today's reading for you. Thank you so much for joining me, for being here for the reading. So let's begin. Let's find out what cards come out, what messages come through, cards. So the first card we have is the Tower. It is in the reverse. We've got some Scorpio energy with this. So you could be dealing with a Scorpio. We have the Five of Cups. It's also in the reverse. And we have the Sun card. You do have some Leo energy with this. So you could be dealing with a Leo. But at the bottom of the deck we have the Hierophant. And with the Hierophant we have some Taurus energy as well. So you could be dealing with a Taurus, a Leo, or even a Scorpio. So with the Hierophant card showing up here at the bottom of the deck, this does feel like a pretty traditional strategy towards approaching a situation, or even when it comes to how a person is. I do feel like there's a very traditional person that you may be dealing with. And within this connection, I do feel like within this connection with this person is, I do feel like, fully in it and in it with you when it comes to a situation and even this connection. This does feel like an energy of having a lot of loyalty in this situation and towards it. I do feel like there's a huge commitment when it comes to the way that the person's thinking at a situation and the idea that a person wants to be able to reach when it comes to this connection. With this Hierophant card showing up over here, this does feel like a committed energy. But with the Tower card showing up in the reverse, this does feel like an energy of kind of being in a space where somebody's not letting something go. I do feel like they're holding on and they are in a space where they want to be able to keep things the same. I do feel like with the Tower card in the reverse, this feels like an energy of that being rooted in somewhat of a fear of what the unknown could be when it comes to allowing for things to change. But I do feel like with the Five of Cups in the reverse, this feels like an energy of you being ready to move on from something or even the way things have been. I do feel like with this Five of Cups showing up in the reverse, this feels like an energy of actually being in a pretty good space, especially emotionally. It feels like an energy of actually having had been on a healing journey. And I do feel like being in a good place because of that. And with the Five of Cups, this also feels like an energy of kind of letting go of what no longer serves you and being able to benefit from that and being able to actually have a positive outlook, especially on a situation, the future, and even the past. I do feel like this does feel like pretty empowering energy. I do feel like it's a sense of not being kept down by something that may have been once upon a time something that actually had an impact on you, something that did feel like it was affecting you quite strongly. I do feel like being able to experience that as no longer having any kind of effect on you that is, I do feel like, negative. And do you feel like with the Five of Cups shown up over here, this feels like an energy of being able to experience a lot of progress on a healing journey. With the Sun card showing up over here, this feels like a very positive and happy energy to be in. So I feel like with the Sun card, this feels like a sense of being in a space where there's a lot of joy within a connection that can be had. I do feel like with this Sun card showing up over here, this does feel like an energy of having a lot of optimism when looking to the future. But I also feel that with the Sun card showing up over here, this also feels like that this connection, it is a reason for somebody to be able to actually feel joy. It's like there's something that they're associating this connection with happy emotions. And I do feel like you're also getting to a pretty positive space in this connection with this person. So I'm going to clarify these cards. We've got the Queen of Pentacles. We have the Chariot. And we have the Queen of Swords. At the bottom of the deck, we've got the Eight of Swords in the reverse. So the Eight of Swords showing up in the reverse, this does feel like an energy of being able to experience getting to a good place, especially emotionally, but also mentally. And I do feel like with this Five of Cups showing up in the reverse, and this sense of being in a space where there is a sense of taking matters into your own hand as far as the healing journey and being able to experience the progress of that. With the Eight of Swords showing up in the reverse, this feels like an energy of release from anxiety. And even when it comes to being in a space where you could feel like there was a lot of overthinking that was kind of getting somebody down, I do feel like this does feel like releasing fears around this connection and being able to actually have this connection kind of experiencing a turning of the corner for the good. I do feel like with this Queen of Pentacles showing up over here, this also feels like a comfortable energy within this connection that this person is. I do feel like they are getting to and they're reaching. This does feel like an energy of being able to experience the sense of being able to feel comfortable in this connection with you. I do feel like with the Tower card in the reverse, this feels like a very fearful energy, and I do feel like with that fearful energy, it feels like it's something that's kind of keeping things stagnant as far as the way that they feel. With this Queen of Pentacles showing up over here, this does feel like a sense of being able to experience this connection in a more comfortable way. So this does feel like a sense of being able to actually get around to a space where this person is feeling more so comfortable in this connection. I do feel like this may actually be something that was playing on this person's mind when it comes to being in a space where it's like they're afraid of the future or the unknown and kind of afraid of being able to let things get out of control. They don't want that to happen. With the Queen of Pentacles showing up over here, this does feel like an energy of having things under control. And I do feel like also being able to experience nurturing the emotional connection being something that is giving this person more so a sense of control in this connection. I do feel like when it comes to how this person feels about you, they do have a lot of respect for you, and you feel like they have a lot of admiration for you. There is a lot of qualities that does kind of bring that feeling to this person, and I do feel like it makes them feel comfortable in this connection with you. With the Chariot card showing up over here, this does feel like forward movement. I do feel like being able to experience a sense of things moving forward. And I do feel like with that Tower in the reverse, this does feel like a stagnant energy. So the Chariot card showing up over here, I do feel like there is a sense of you kind of taking the lead on being able to move things forward in this connection. And do you feel like even as far as being in a space where it's like you are able to provide some kind of reassurance or even some kind of mentality that's also allowing for somebody to feel comfortable being able to move things forward, even into what feels like a change in this connection. I do feel like with the Chariot card showing up over here, this does feel like an energy of also being able to experience forward movements in a way that allows for things to be moving forward in a successful way. So I do feel that with the Chariot card showing up over here, when it comes to any changes coming up on this connection, and even when it comes to either one of your lives, I do feel like there's a sense of being able to have that be something that is converted into something that benefits this connection. I do feel like with the Queen of Swords showing up over here, this does feel like an energy of being able to have communication. And I do feel like being able to have a conversation with somebody is also providing clarity that's leading to a sense of relief. I do feel like mentally, but also being able to experience getting to a positive space in this connection. I do feel like being able to see that light for this connection, things getting better. With this Queen of Swords, this does feel like an energy of also being able to learn from the past. I do feel like the past being something that's also quite a heavy focus of this connection. But I do feel like being able to kind of go through being able to learn lessons from the past in a way that does also contribute to not repeating any kind of mistakes. Do you feel like with the Queen of Swords showing up over here, this also feels like an energy of boundaries? And I do feel like when it comes to having boundaries in this connection, seeing to this person having a lot of respect for you, I do also feel like this person also being in a space where they may actually be enforcing somewhat of a boundary as well. And I feel like it's in a way that's harmonious, that makes things work in a way that makes things feel like there's more so harmony. With the Sun card showing up over here, this does feel like an enjoyable connection. I do also feel like being able to experience enjoyable moments in this connection, also contributing to the individual healing of the both of you. So I'm going to clarify these cards. We have make the effort. We have love yourself first. And we have trust. So the make the effort card showing up over here, this does feel like an energy of someone who's in a space where they're ready to make the efforts. I do feel like with this Tower card, this does feel like an energy of kind of being in a space where somebody is kind of trying to question whether they should go forward or move backwards, whether they should stay or go. I do feel like with the make the effort card showing up over here, this does feel like an energy of kind of challenging any kind of fears when it comes to moving things forward in this connection with this person. I do feel like with this make the effort card showing up over here, this does feel like an energy of someone being ready to put in that effort. I do feel like with this make the effort card showing up over here, this also feels like an energy of being able to feel motivated to make that effort. So I do feel like this does feel like a sense of this person kind of being in a space where they are motivated to make the effort. And I do feel like it shows. I do feel like with this love yourself first card showing up over here, this does feel like an energy of you prioritizing yourself and your well-being. And I do feel like with that 8 of Swords showing up in the reverse, this feels like an energy of a relief from any kind of stress, mental stress, or even any kind of fears that may be coming up from overthinking. And I do feel like with this love yourself first card showing up over here, this feels like an energy of being able to kind of pour into your own cup in a way that is beneficial to you as well as to this connection. I do feel like with this love yourself first card showing up over here, this also feels like an energy of really being able to experience the benefits of a healing journey and being able to take time out to focus on self in a way that is also contributing to that healing journey. So this does feel like an energy of being able to experience healing and growth through this connection with this person. I do feel like with the trust card showing up over here, this does feel like an energy of being able to kind of be in a connection where I do feel like when it comes to the connection and where things are and what's about to happen and what's coming next, this does feel like an energy of having faith and trusting the process. With the Sun card showing up over here, this does feel like being able to have fun in the meantime and being able to enjoy in the present moment and being able to get a lot out of that for this connection when it comes to being able to share in those kind of moments. I do feel like with this Queen of Swords showing up over here, this does feel like an energy of being in a space where there's a desire for being able to have a sense of control over things and not losing control. And I do feel like with the Queen of Swords, this does feel like an energy of not tolerating anything that is out of bounds or anything that is different to what you may want or expect. So with the Trust card showing up over here, this does feel like an energy of the situation kind of pulling for you to have faith and also kind of trust the process. So those are the messages I'm getting with these cards for you, Cancer, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye, Cancer.